This is the story of Beth, and it's also my story. This is a picture of Beth when she couldn't know she would be a girl. She was 14 weeks old on that day in July 1980. 4 months later, overnight, I felt severe cramps. I didn't even realize those were contractions. What did I know about going into labor? And the baby was due around Christmas. So when I arrived in the emergency department of St. Peter's Hospital in Louvain, I was already too late. The emergency doctor said that the baby hadn't turned yet and the cervix would not dilate enough to deliver my baby. So I needed a cesarean section right there, right then, if my baby was going to survive. The last thing I heard before I saw the scalpel cutting into my belly was, "What's your favorite town?" Paris, I thought. When I woke up, my husband said that Beth was safe and that she had been lucky because the umbilical cord was slowly suffocating her. Without a cesarean section, she wouldn't have made it. "Beth," I whispered, before I slipped into a deep sleep again. When I woke up in the hospital room, I asked where my baby was, because I needed to hold her and to feel her, to know she was safe. I wanted to feed her, keep her close and cuddle her. And then they told me that Beth was in another hospital, in the new Gasthuisberg University Hospital, where a premature department, the neonatal intensive care unit, had been built. "But be assured, lady, Beth was fine, she did well, she got the best medical care. She was kept warm in an incubator, under lamps, monitored all the time on her liver function and the development of the lungs, and blah, blah, blah." And then they gave me this Polaroid picture. "This is your baby girl." Because I had had a cesarean operation, I was not allowed to go to the new Gasthuisberg Hospital. And if I could please breastfeed her, because Beth was 42 centimeters and her weight was about 1,800 grams, not even 2 packs of sugar. And she would need my milk to grow strong. "How?" I said, "when I cannot hold her?" "With this breast pump," the nurse said. And she showed me how to press the rubber bulb and how to collect the milk into a glass bottle. So I started pumping the red rubber bulb, and I filled flask after flask with my milk for my girl. Meanwhile, I looked at the most beautiful, precious creature of the whole world on a Polaroid picture. After one day, I got a message that Beth drank greedily. She had put on 40 grams. She was a brave, brave little girl. She would be fine. So I kept pumping the red rubber pump with new energy. The nurse started talking again. "Lady, there are other babies in the intensive care ward. Some are only 6 months old with a weight of 800 grams. If they could buy my milk to keep them alive." And I thought, oh my God, as long as my Beth would have enough of my milk, I couldn't care giving milk. So I started pumping milk into glass bottles and flasks for the premature babies in the neonatal department of the Gasthuisberg Hospital. And on the 4th day, after her birth, they put me into a wheelchair pushed me to the ambulance at the entrance, and then the ambulance drove me to the neonatology ward of the Gasthuisberg Hospital, some 5 kilometers away. There I could see Beth for the first time, live. They gave me some rubber gloves so I could touch her, and a mouth mask against infections. I wasn't allowed to breastfeed her yet. And after swallowing in every little detail of my Beth, I also noticed the other babies in the ward. They were so tiny and little and vulnerable and naked, in glass cages, wired on monitors and injected by fluids. And back into my room I started pumping to feed all the premature babies in the ward as if they were my baby. After 10 days I was allowed to breastfeed my baby girl, though I didn't stop pumping for the other babies. And after a month I could take Beth home, and I never let go of her. I breastfed her for longer than 7 months. And this is my princess on her wedding day. And here are her children. And when I see Ruben, the youngest, I see my Beth. Beth has been the best breastfeeding mom I have ever seen. It seems like an old story.